5 San Antonio Spurs need to be traded or released next season? Or do they?
Go Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. I had come across this article about a week ago on Air Alamo, and finally getting around to go over this with you guys because we've been so busy with all the trade rumors with the Spurs. But I want to kind of go over their article and see if you agree or disagree with each of the 5 players here. Bassey, Collins, Johnson, Champagnie, and behind me, Graham. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think they're spot on? Do you think that, nope, we should keep these guys? Let me know. Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs and sports community. Let's get into the article from Air Alamo. First up, the Bassinator, Charles Bassey. They say that he brings a tough component that adds value to a young team that sometimes struggles with their physicality, but it's a useless asset from the bench. Dominic Barlow made a significant jump from year 1 to year 2. The Spurs should lean into his development and start giving him more minutes. Barlow plays with a lot of energy and is a willing defender. In regard to Charles Bassey, he is injury prone. He's had 2 seasons in a row with a knee injury that ended his season. I kind of agree, need to move on from Charles Bassey. I like him, but I would say release him, keep Sandro Mamakhelishvili, and keep Dominic Barlow, develop those 2 players, and unfortunately move on from the Chuckinator. Up next, number 4, Julian Champagnie. This might be a hot topic, so to speak. In regard to Julian Champagnie, he barely shot over the league average of 36.6% on wide open threes, which are considered to be as such with 6+ feet of open space at 38.1%. That's less than a 2% increase from his overall clip of 36.3%. Still, he's only coming off his 2nd year and competes hard. He has plenty of room to grow, but wow, this paragraph's killing me. Plenty of room to grow, but the Spurs should draft Dalton Knecht from Tennessee. And blah, 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 blah. So, in regards to Julian Champagnie, he has shown flashes. He tore it up in the summer league, made us all going, holy crap, Julian Champagnie, this guy's a diamond in the rough. He's young. He's on a very team-friendly contract. He's got 3 more years of about $3 million a year. I actually can't believe I'm saying this because I've been kind of critical of him throughout most of the season, but I would say keep Julian Champagnie for the time being. Do not trade or release him. That being said, he needs to come off the bench. He should not be in our starting lineup ever again. He's shown flashes in Summer League, showed some flashes at the end of the season, especially with an ability to finish at the rim. He's young. He's got size. Yeah, keep him for now, and I'm not ready to move on from him. I'm ready, believe it or not, Spurs fans, I'm keeping the Champagnie. Popping the cork. What? Hit next. I hit next. Go. Air Alamo, you're embarrassing me. Okay, up next, Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham had that big game winner against the Denver Nuggets. While only $2.8 million is guaranteed initially, the final year becomes fully guaranteed on July 1st, which will be about $12 million. There's no reason for San Antonio to pay that amount of money to a player who plays so little. The Spurs have a couple of younger players, David Duke Jr. and Jamari Bouye, who can play that role. Sorry. The veterans of the Spurs need on the roster should preferably be ones with more postseason experience and guys who will see the floor more. Duke Jr. might be on the roster next year. I don't think Bouye showed us enough, so the Bouye going to be Bouyeing his butt out of here. Listen, Devontae Graham played very well for us in short spurts, but he only got time pretty much in garbage time. I feel fairly confident in saying the Spurs are going to eat that $2.8 million that's guaranteed and release him. I hope he finds work somewhere else. He was very professional throughout the season and is not getting any playing time. And when he came out and played, he played hard. So Devontae Graham, thank you for your short time here. Once a Spur, always a Spur. But I think the Spurs, I agree with releasing Devontae Graham unless there's a sign and trade type thing they can do. Well, even sign and trade, he's not going to be here. This is a popular one for people to talk about being traded left and right. Kelvin Johnson, KJ. With Devin Vassell stepping forward to take on more as a scorer and the addition of Victor Wembanyama, Kelvin should have used the extra space allotted to raise his scoring efficiency. That did not happen. Last season, Johnson had a field goal percentage of 45%, only to follow up with the season with a field goal percentage of 45%. His three-point shooting was streaky, showing an ability to get hot, but his overall percentage for the year was 34%. If the Spurs' desire to win games this year was not clear before, it was made obvious when they concluded the season by winning 6 out of their last 10 games. That tells fans that expectation was much higher. After just barely winning enough games to avoid a franchise worst record, changes need to be made, and Keldon is an obvious trade piece that must be utilized. This is tough because you guys know I like Keldon. I have 2 Keldon Johnson jerseys, and I would hate to, have those not be applicable anymore because I love my Johnson jerseys. He is a streaky shooter. He's a poor defender. He's on a team-friendly contract. His contract gets smaller over the years, dropping from like 20 to 19 to 17, 17, something like that. He seems like a good locker room guy. I've always been pro Keldon and saying keep. I'm now on the fence on whether to keep or trade. He's not getting released. That is not happening. But keep or trade, I'd like to keep Keldon around off the bench. But if the Spurs get an offer they can't refuse, then they should pursue the possibility of trading Keldon. I hope he's a Spur for life, but if he's not, it is what it is. Spurs first, player second. Last but not least. But why are you opening a new window? Oh my gosh. Air Alamo, you're killing me today. You're absolutely killing me as I'm trying to do this live. Okay. Zach Collins. The pairing of Zach Collins and Victor Wembanyama clogged up the court, especially with Sohan and Keldon on the floor simultaneously. Remember when we looked at that starting lineup, we're like, that's going to work out pretty good, right? No. Gonzaga's center couldn't make his shots from distance early, and everything looked so sloppy, ouch, that Coach Pop had to move him to the bench, and now you're forced to reevaluate your decision to extend Collins, which we already did, by the way. Collins has 2 years left on his deal since he reached an extension with San Antonio in 2023, but that extension was made based on the idea that the Twin Tower lineup would work. Didn't. It does not make sense to pay Zach $16 to $18 million per year to come off the bench for 22 minutes a night. He's getting $17.5 million over the next 2 years. I am definitely pro-trade Zach Collins. I'd rather give the minutes to Mamo and Barlow. See what they got. They seem to, Mamo especially, seemed to work well with Wemby at the end of the season. Much better than what I saw with Collins and Wemby on the court at the same time, in my humble opinion. So I would like to move on from Zach. I agree we should trade him. His trade value right now is not exactly at its highest, Spurs fans. He's coming off shoulder surgery. He should be ready for the season. The team's probably a little more hesitant to trade for a player coming off surgery. He has the prior injury history with, I believe, was one of his ankles. Now he's got the shoulder issue. Hopefully it's nothing serious for him. Look, I might want him to get traded, but I want him to have a productive NBA career. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he heals 100%. But I just don't think he fits in with where we're headed as a San Antonio Spurs team. That being said, a lot of this is going to be predicated, and I say this every video, all 5 of these guys could be Spurs next year. All 5 are going to be gone. It's going to be very dependent on what the Spurs do in the draft. Or if they make a big trade, that could severely affect any one of these guys. If they were to draft what if they draft Alexander Sarr? Then Collins and Bassey clearly are not going to be needed on the team. We have enough bigs. If they draft a point guard, clearly Devontae Graham's not going to be, he's expendable. If they trade for a point guard, if they do something crazy and draft Bronny, and then LeBron comes out, I'm sorry, just throwing out all the crazy scenarios, because we're seeing things left and right about our franchise. Steph Curry, DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, draft Bronny. I mean, it's just been such a wild ride over the last week, and it's just going to be a wild ride until the draft, until the lottery results, then the draft, and then after the draft with trades and free agency and everything. It's just going to be a crazy time for Spurs fans. But I'm going to be here covering as much as I can. You're going to be here hopefully soaking it up and hopefully enjoying the content. And most importantly, what I really like about doing these videos more than anything, yes, I'm going off on a tangent, is getting your feedback on what you think should happen with the Spurs. Whether I agree with it or disagree with it. Some of you are saying get DeJounte. Some of you are saying pass on DeJounte. Bring Trae Young in. Pass on Trae Young. Heck, go get Ben Simmons. Bring in Bobo. Whatever. Bring back Kawhi. Whatever you're saying. I might not agree with it, but I always 110% appreciate it. I really do. And if you say, TSR, you're nuts. That is, I don't know why you're even discussing that. I'm like, okay, I respect that you don't agree with that, but you're taking the time to watch the video and comment. And you're also likely a Spurs fan. And that's the most important thing. This is a Spurs channel per se, but to me, this has always been more of a Spurs community, and I just love seeing the feedback on the videos, or when you guys are starting to have, like, when you guys start having like this long discussion amongst yourselves, and like, wow, they're really having a nice debate here on what the Spurs should do. I really enjoy that, and channel activity's been up a lot over the last week, and it's been very exciting seeing how excited you guys are about the Spurs going into this offseason for us, and I'm really enjoying the ride. So thank you all for tuning in. As always, go Spurs, go.
Ready to Wembley.